Every day, millions of people step into an elevator without a second thought. You walk into a small enclosed box, press a glowing button, stare at your phone for a few seconds, and suddenly step out hundreds of feet in the air. Yet, as you're doing this, many quietly wonder the same question. What if the cable snaps? Well, today we'll uncover one of the greatest engineering achievements hidden inside modern buildings. In this explainer, we're diving deep into how elevators work and why they're the absolute hidden lifeline of modern cities.
So, let's start with a really simple question. What actually makes a skyscraper possible? Because when we stand on the sidewalk and look up at a massive city skyline, our minds almost immediately jump to structural engineering, right? We picture deep earth foundations, incredible wind-resistant designs, and those giant cranes lifting tons of material into the sky. But we can build a tower 1,000 feet tall, and without one highly dynamic piece of the puzzle, those soaring heights are completely, literally useless to human beings.
To really get a grasp on this, we need to travel back to the 1800s. Picture the heat, the smoke, the sheer energy of the iron and steel revolution. During this incredible period of rapid industrialization, entirely new production processes completely rewrote the rulebook of construction. For the very first time in human history, engineers were handed a real game changer. They had materials strong enough to support unprecedented weight, but light enough to stack higher than anyone had ever dreamed.
And it all happened on these perfectly parallel tracks. So in the 1800s, as iron and steel production surged, factories started churning out sturdy metal beams. Those beams became the skeletons for monumental skyscrapers. But right alongside that structural leap, over 150 years ago, the modern elevator was introduced to the world. It definitely wasn't a coincidence. One breathtaking innovation absolutely necessitated the other.
Because, there's a huge difference between simply building a tall structure and actually being able to use it. Iron and steel provided the bones, the heavy, sturdy building blocks you need to physically reach the clouds. But modern elevators, they were the nervous system. They were the crucial element that actually made it practical to inhabit those spaces. Without a way to effortlessly transport people up and down, a towering steel skeleton is really just a giant, empty monument.
The truth is, as architects aggressively pushed their designs higher and higher, they slammed right into a severe physical limitation. We call it the skyscraper problem. Think about the sheer, grueling exhaustion of it. You can engineer a magnificent 50-story building, but we humans, we still have the exact same legs we've had for tens of thousands of years. The idea of climbing 50 agonizing flights of stairs, entirely out of breath, just to get to your desk or your apartment couch? No way. It's completely unfeasible for daily life.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. The grand vision of the skyscraper was on a direct collision course with basic human endurance. These towers would have been basically unusable if it weren't for another technological innovation arriving at precisely the right moment. Without it, developers would have been left with empty, echoing shells at the top of the world. Because let's be real, nobody is going to pay premium rent for a luxury penthouse if they have to hike a vertical mountain of stairs just to get home.
The answer to this problem arrived in the elegant form of a mechanical box that seamlessly moves us from floor to floor. This was the vertical solution, and it completely transformed how humanity navigates space. Instead of sprawling endlessly outward covering massive amounts of land, we could suddenly pivot. We could stack our lives, our businesses, and our cultures vertically into the clouds. By the way, if you're enjoying discovering the hidden engineering behind everyday technology, don't forget to like and subscribe to The Explainer.
Now, it is absolutely astonishing to think that this core technology has been around for over 150 years. We're so used to looking at hyper-modern city skylines at the absolute peak of contemporary tech, yet the foundational machine that actually unlocks every single one of those penthouses and boardrooms is a century and a half old.
Without this innovation, making it practical to live and work dozens of stories above the ground, the towering urban landscapes we know today simply wouldn't exist. Those massive economic hubs, the densely populated city centers, those iconic skyline views, every single bit of it relies entirely on the absolute, unwavering reliability of vertical transport.
And this isn't just about record-breaking heights. This concept scales to the everyday reality of our massive modern infrastructure. Elevators aren't just mild conveniences for when our legs are tired. They are the true beating lifelines of modern cities. They literally dictate how a city breathes and flows, how millions of individuals move seamlessly through their day-to-day routines. High-rise cities like New York absolutely depend on them just to function, but they're just as essential for smaller multi-story buildings in your own neighborhood. More than anything, elevators are the great equalizer. They make offices and apartments accessible to handicapped people, ensuring equitable, realistic access for everyone, and profoundly impacting the independence of those with mobility challenges.
Now, behind the scenes of every single ride, there is a symphony of unseen engineering. Complex control systems are constantly running rapid calculations, deciding the most efficient way to route multiple cars and minimize your wait time. But more importantly, incredibly robust safety systems are actively monitoring every inch of the journey to prevent catastrophes. So when you wonder, what if the cable snaps? The answer is that redundant, foolproof systems are there to catch you. You press a button, the doors close, and you trust the machine, completely insulated by the incredible engineering keeping you safe.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If towering modern cities entirely depend on a 150-year-old invention just to function at all, what other invisible systems are secretly holding up our daily lives? Keep questioning how your world actually works. The world around us is filled with extraordinary engineering hidden inside ordinary objects. Here at SketchMind, we'll uncover them one machine at a time. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.